Yo, Fantasy Gazelle Show. Listen, it's the Week 8 preview episode. I'm going to try to fly through these for you guys, okay? It's a late start, but I'm going to get to this Thursday night game real quick. Hopefully this comes out. I don't know if it's going to come out before the game starts. I'm hoping. But anyways, Minnesota at the Chargers. Over-under is 44.5, and they've got the Chargers minus 3.5. I think Minnesota covers that, and it goes over. Look, you can stream Carson Wentz in this. He's streamable. He's got good weapons. You know, he's been playing with this offense for most of the season now. Jordan Mason, with Jones coming back, I think he's more of like a low-end RB2 strong flex play because who knows if they're going to want to get Jones back going. I don't know. Jones is a sit. If you can sit him, I mean, you've waited. I wouldn't rush him in back into this lineup. Obviously, Jefferson must start. Jordan Addison, strong start. He's got a real nice connection. Led the team in targets last week with Wentz. And then Hawkinson, try to find a better option. He's a low-end start at best. On the other side, Justin Herbert, strong start. I think he's going to be balling. I think Vidal, he was up for a start of the week for me. Quentin Johnston, yeah, he's probably the. Actually, no, I actually like Keenan Allen, number one of the three wide receivers on this team, just based on the matchup. But I still like Johnston, and I think McConkey is a flex with a lot of upside. Gadsden almost was my start of the week. I didn't want to look like I was chasing the points too much, but he's a big piece, especially in Dynasty. I love him in this game, and I love him moving forward. But the only thing with him is how long is that going to last once their running back is fully healthy? Hampton. So he might be a sell high, but anyways. On the other side, a different new game. Jets at Cincinnati. Over under 44.5. Cincy minus 6.5. I think Cincy covers that, and I think it goes under. I don't see the Jets with a Tyrod Taylor, who I'm about to start talking about. I don't think that the Jets are going to score many points at all. Tyrod Taylor. Now, he's probably a much better fit for this offense than Justin Fields as far as just, I don't know, consistent play, I guess, but you'd have to be desperate to play him. Breece Hall, you can't trust him, but I would buy Breece Hall because there's a lot of rumors of him getting traded. Should be to a better situation. Don't love him in this game. He's a flex at best to me. Don't stash Davis unless you're a deep bench and you know what I'm saying. Looks like Garrett Wilson's going to be out, so the other two wide receivers are going to be Lazard and Reynolds, either order. Don't want either of them in any lineups. And then Mason Taylor, I like him as a start if he's active, but he popped up. He's hurt, so monitor that. If he plays, you start him for sure. Other side of the ball, Joe Flacco almost made my start of the week. It's just too good of a matchup. He's at home. The Jets aren't going to put any pressure on Cincy. Flacco's going to pick him apart like he picked Pittsburgh last week apart. Love him in this game. Chase Brown finally got over 100 yards last week. I think that continues this week. It's not going to be every week. Keep in mind, they still have a real shaky offensive line. But I think Chase Brown showed flashes of why everybody, but especially me, was so high on him going into this season. P. Ryan, you can leave on waivers. Jamar Chase must start. T. Higgins almost made my start of the week. The only reason is, again, if Sauce Gardner happens to shadow Chase, which doesn't really matter, but again, Flacco might go, hey, that reads off. I got to get it out. Higgins might have a nice day, and then Noah Fant waivers. Next game, Buffalo at Carolina. Gosh, no, I'm not going to call it. I almost went with the upset. No, it's not going to happen. Buffalo's winning this game. But Buffalo minus 7.5. Carolina over under 46. I think Carolina covers that. And I think it goes over. Josh Allen, must start. James Cook, must start. Ray Davis, again, every week I'm going to say stash him just because he's tied to a really good offense. They've already had their bye. If Cook, God forbid, were to go out, he's the next guy up. So you got to start thinking ahead. Khalil Shakir, gosh, sell the guy based on name in that offense. He's a flex to me. Coleman, you sell him, you sit him. I don't want anything to do with Coleman. Hopefully, coming out of the bye, maybe they figure something out with him. But there's just something off there, and it's not clicking. And then Dalton Kincaid, you start him if he's active. Monitor that. He's a must start for me if he plays. On the other side, Andy Dalton, don't pick him up. He's on waivers. I mean, you'd have to be really desperate to play him, but deep leagues, I get it. 2 QB leagues, maybe, but nah. No, this is the thing. Rico Dowdle, my absolute start of the week. He is a freaking monster, and this is a perfect matchup for him. I mentioned it before, Buffalo's defense, second worst team in the league against rush yards, explosion rate, yards after contact, all things that Dowdle accelerates at and excels at. Accelerates. I meant to say excels, so not both. He excels at that. So he's a must start of the week. Chuba Hubbard, you can flex him because they might still sprinkle him in. And again, it's a great matchup for running backs. Tet McMillan, it's hard to trust Dalton, but I'm still going to at least flex McMillan, if not start him as a wide receiver too. Leggett, I know he had a big game last week. I tried to sell based off of that. I think that might be the best you're going to see out of him this season, honestly. But I would try to sit him. And then Coker, I was high on him, but you could probably just throw him on waivers. And then you don't want anything to do with either tight end, really. I mean, I guess Sanders is the starter over Tremble. I don't know. I get it wrong every week. I don't know what they think. Don't worry about their tight end situation. I think Carolina covers the 7.5, and I think it goes over. I already said that. San Francisco at Houston. Houston minus 1.5. Dude, that's so easy. That's the easiest. Look, literally, I'm telling you this right now. Just the fact that Christian McCaffrey is on the field, I think, is the reason San Francisco beats Houston. Houston. All right, okay, and I'll get into that. San Francisco covers the 1.5, and it goes under. Houston's not going to score a lot on this team. I don't think San Francisco scores a lot either, but I think it's going to be low scoring. Mac Jones looks like he's going to be the starter over Purdy. I'd try to sit him. It is a stingy secondary on Houston, and they do have a decent pass rush, but I try to find a better option. Obviously, McCaffrey's a must start. Stash Brian Robinson Jr. if you can. Juwan Jennings and Kendrick Bourne are both like the same type of flex in this game. And then Kittle, bounce back, must start. Must start every game moving forward for Kittle. On the other side, CJ Stroud, man, if you can sell him, get out of there. It's brutal. Hopefully you don't start him. You have a better option. He's gonna be without Nico. They don't really have a running game. Woody Marks is a flex at best volume. Chubb, I'd probably drop to waivers if I needed the spot. I think Jalen Noel will probably lead this team in targets this week. Little sneaky slot guy. Doesn't look like Christian Kirk's going to play. So I like Noel, and then Higgins. Noel and Higgins are more dynasty guys to buy low on, but I think you could probably get 10 points out of either of them, really. And then Schultz almost made my start of the week. And again, he came off a monster week last week with almost 20. But there's just who's going to get the targets. I think Stroud will rely on Schultz quite a bit in this game. So he's a volume start. San Francisco covers and hits the under. Next game, New York Giants at Philly. I'm actually looking forward to this one. It's a division rival, and Philly minus 7.5. I absolutely think that the Giants cover that. 43.5, I think it goes on over. I think the Giants and Dart and them are totally capable of putting up some points. Dart's basically a strong start almost every week because of the mobility. Scatterboo, must start. Almost made my start of the week. Slayton, you could drop him. Put him on waivers, sit him if you want to. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, he's a flex. He's probably a flex every week with upside, honestly, a PPR flex. And then Theo Johnson, low-end streamer. You could do worse than Theo Johnson in this matchup. Justin Hurts on the other side, must start. Barkley, must start, but I'm alarmed here. He's a must start just because you don't want to miss out. But man, I tried to trade Barkley. They obviously have made some changes and they're airing it out a lot more now and going, the wide receivers were complaining and it worked last week. Hurts was unbelievable with his arm last week. Barkley's still a must start, but I am very concerned. A.J. Brown must start with that change in their offense if he's active. He's hurt. He's one to monitor. Devontae Smith, he's a strong start, especially if A.J. Brown's hurt. I think that Philly's definitely going to put up a lot of points in this game. And then Dallas Goedert. This is crazy, but I wasn't high on him. He's an absolute must start every week. He's up there. He's top 3 tight end moving forward probably. Yeah, Giants cover and it hits the over. Next one, Cleveland at New England. Over under 40.5, New England -7. I think Cleveland's defense can cover that -7. They win by like 6 or, something like that. 7 with that defense, I think that they can cover that. And I think it hits the under. I don't think this is a high-scoring game. Dylan Gabriel, keep on waivers. Judkins, absolute must start every week. Sampson, he's a deep stash, meaning if you have a deep benches, you can stash him. He's a good player, but he's not a must keep or roster. Jerry Jeudy, sell him, sit him. That's going to be the same every week, guys. He's just a name, honestly. Isaiah Bond put the waivers. And then Harold Fannin, definitely start him. I'm starting him every week as a tight end. And Njoku's banged up. He's not going to play, I don't believe. Drake May on the other end. Must start. Love this guy. Can't say enough. Ramondre Stevenson. I hate going up against Cleveland's defense, but I think he's a lock to get a touchdown and he's going to get some volume. He's good for at least 15 to 20 touches, and I think he gets a touchdown. That you need that in your lineup. Security blanket, Trevion Henderson, he's just a dynasty guy. He's a dynasty buy low because better days are ahead. Stephon Diggs he's the start of the week. Hasn't scored yet. He's scoring at least one this week. That absolutely. Kayshon Boutte, I don't know how do you say it? He's a strong flex with upside. And then Hunter Henry, start him for sure. Cleveland covers and hits the under. Chicago at Baltimore. I think Lamar is going to play. So everything, I'm just going based off of that. Over under 49, high over under. Vegas is thinking Lamar plays too. Baltimore -6.5. I think Chicago covers that, and I do think it hits the over. Chicago's won 4 in a row. They're a good team. They're playing well under Ben Johnson. Definitely think that they cover the 6.5. Caleb Williams, start him. He's a strong start actually. I'm just nervous that Baltimore cleaned some stuff up in their bye week last week on their defense. It can't be that bad, and I'm expecting that for both sides of the ball. But I still would definitely recommend starting Caleb. Sell DeAndre Swift. He's a flex to me. Kyle Monangai, he's absolutely a buy, and I would flex him in this game. He had a real nice week last week. Odunze almost made my start of the week because it's a bounce back situation. I think he's a screaming buy. I think he's a freaking must start. I love Odunze in this offense. Sell DJ Moore, guys. It's just you can't start. He's a low end flex, really. They're moving the ball around too much. There's something off with that DJ Moore situation there. He could be one that gets moved at the trade deadline in a couple weeks, but I can't recommend starting him with any upside right now. Not sure what's going on with their tight end situation. That's to be determined. Other side of the ball, other side of the ball, I guess that works. Lamar Jackson must start, absolutely. Derrick Henry, he's a screaming buy. He's a must start. I think he's a huge bounce back target coming out of the bye, and I think he's going to smash the rest of the way. Justice Hill, you put him on waivers. He's not. You don't need to keep him. Zay Flowers, screaming buy for me as well, and I think he was almost made my start of the week. I think that he's going to ball out the rest of the season. I like him in this game. Rashad Bateman, droppable waivers, Might have a few spike weeks here and there, but you're never going to know when. Mark Andrews, I'd start in this game, and then buy Isaiah Likely, because I think Andrews might be getting dealt at the trade deadline, and then Likely takes over. Chicago covers in this, the over. Next game, Miami at Atlanta, 44.5 over under. Atlanta minus 7.5. Atlanta is going to destroy Miami in this game. Atlanta definitely covers, and it hits the over. Tua, he's droppable. Sit him, whatever you want to do. You can't. I'm done with Tua. Absolutely. You were better off if you didn't play Tua last week and just took the 0. HN is a must start, but I'm going to sell him. I want nothing to do with this offense anymore, guys. HN's the only piece. Try to sell high on him. Seriously. Waddle, sell him, but you're going to flex him. You're going to start him, although he did pop up on the injury list. Washington, he's a low-end flex, but he's someone I'm interested in buying in Dynasty for sure. And then no tight end to talk about with Darren Waller out. I think the guy's name is Toby Connor or something, Tanner Connor or something like that. Connor Tanner, I don't know. Michael Penix almost made my start of the week. Love him in this game, but he is banged up. So who knows? He's dealing with a knee bruise, I believe. But if Cousins were to come in, I 100% think he wouldn't miss a beat and he would still shred Miami. Robinson, absolute must start. That dude's unbelievable. Tyler Algier, dude. He almost made my start of the week because I think Atlanta's going to be up so much. And when he gets the ball, he's scored touchdowns. He's flex worthy with Bijan. And not many RB2s, handcuffs can say that. But Algier's definitely a flex at home in the right matchups. And not even at home, just in general. But I think I think he scores at least a touchdown. I think they give Bijan a rest, and they need to. Drake London must start. Darnell Mooney, try to sell him. He's a low-end flex. He might have some spike weeks again, but, there's just not enough to go around for him because Pitts is starting to heat up. And Pitts is my start of the week at tight end. They cut Ray McLeod. They had a falling out there. That opens up more targets over the middle of the field that Ray McLeod was a part of. I like Pitts a lot. I think it finally might start to happen. Atlanta's a fun offense, a fun fantasy offense. If Pitts starts to get going, man, that could be great for him. Tampa Bay, same divisions. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Tampa Bay minus 4.5 over under 46.5. I think Tampa Bay covers the 4.5. I only say that because New Orleans plays a lot better at home, their defense especially, and I do think it hits the over. Baker, coming off the worst game I've seen him in ages, he is a freaking must start. That guy's going to ball out in this game. Rashad White, must start while Bucky Irvin's out again this week. Sean Tucker, man, I have to play. I'm just gonna vent here. I have to play Sean Tucker as in my RB2 spot in a dynasty league that I'm 7-0 in, and I'm loaded at wide receiver, but my running back core sucks, and I have to play Tucker as my RB2. But anyways, I'd only recommend playing him in cash. Egbuka must start. Sterling Shepard, low end flex. Tez Johnson was almost my start of the week. I think he's a lock to score in this game. I really like Tez Johnson. And then Cade Otton must start based on the volume. Other side, Spencer Rattler's a desperate low-end start for me. He might throw a touchdown or two, but he's just not a good QB. I'm sorry. Kamara's a flex to me. Olave almost made my start of the week, but he's got an ankle issue. But he's a real strong start, probably a must start if he plays. Shaheed's a flex with some upside. Shaheed's on the trade block. A lot of teams are calling about both Olave and Shaheed. I mentioned that last week, but he's an interesting buy right now in all formats. Juwan Johnson, he's a low end start. I try to sell him, and then Taysom Hill, cash only. He could get a touchdown in this game. Tampa Bay covers and hits the over. Dallas at Denver, an absolute shootout. Highest over-under on the slate, 50.5 over-under. And they got Denver -3.5. I think Denver covers that and wins by, oh gosh. No, I don't know, man. No, let's have Dallas cover that. Keep it close. And then definitely hits the over. Dak must start. Javante must start. Jaden Blue, only a dynasty guy. CD Lamb is back. He's a must start. George Pickens, I think he's a must start. And so is Jake Ferguson. What a fantasy goldmine Dallas is right now. Bo Nix, start of the week. Absolutely going to smash. J.K. Dobbins, you start him for sure. He's very touchdown dependent, but I think he gets 1 or 2 in this game. You can't start Harvey until they trust him more and they give him more options, more opportunities. Cortland Sutton must start. Marvin Mims almost made my start. He was in contention. He leads that team in deep targets, and I think Nix is going to air it out. I like Mims a lot as a strong flex with some serious upside. And I kind of feel the same way about Franklin. I just don't know if they're going to need Sutton, Mims, and Franklin to all go off. It's tough to love 3 guys. I think I like Sutton and Mims, and then Franklin, he's just a upside flex play. And then Evan Ingram, try to find better. I'm trying to sell him based on name value, honestly. I say that every week. There's something off with him. Tennessee at Indy, oh boy. Indy -14 over under 47. I wrote the Indy covers. That's just too much. That's too much. No, you know what? They're going to cover. Indy covers. They're playing too well and they're at home. And then I think it goes over 47 because, again, I think Indy's capable of putting up 40 alone. Jonathan Taylor, by the way, he has 3 hat tricks this season. That is crazy. Anyways, Cam Ward waivers. Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, Alec Ayamoner, no Calvin Ridley in this game, and then DK. Those guys are all low-end flexes to me. I'd sit them if I could. On the other side, Jones, real strong start. Taylor, an absolute must start. Pittman almost made my start of the week. Downs, you flex him if he's active. He's dealing with an injury. Alec Pierce, this is a guy I like in cash every week, guys. He's super cheap. And this guy is really underrated. He's great for a bomb touchdown. Tyler Warren, absolute must start. And then Amir Abdullah, I guess he's taken over as the RB2 on this team. I thought it was Giddens, the rookie, but Abdullah, every year, this guy around this time makes a name for himself, comes in, and he freaking comes in and takes the RB2 spot. So just keep an eye on Abdullah. I'm not saying pick him up, but keep an eye on him. And then next game, Green Bay at Pittsburgh. Green Bay -3. I think Pittsburgh covers that. I think they win this game, and I think it hits the over of 45. I'm going to try to sell Jordan Love, guys. You're starting him, but I'm trying to sell him for sure. Josh Jacobs must start. Romeo Doubs almost made my start of the week. This is just based on he's got a great matchup. Matthew Golden, I mean, every week he's just going to be a flex with upside, guys. Every week. They're talking about Christian Watson could possibly come back. I just heard that a little bit ago, so I didn't even put him on here. And then Tucker Kraft, absolute must start. Pittsburgh side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers almost made my start of the week. It's a revenge game narrative. He's been playing really well. They're at home. They're coming off of a tough loss last week. I think he balls out in this game. Jaylen Warren, not a good matchup for him. He's going to need a touchdown. He's going to need a lot of volume. You're starting him, but it's a low-end RB2, high-end flex, Sit game, well, DK Metcalf, again, another, I say start of the week because he hasn't even had 5. I don't think he's had 5 catches in a game this week. He gets all this production. He's like the wide receiver 14 or 15, and he's getting maybe 4 catches a game, if that. But he's a stud. Austin, waivers. Freiermuth coming off of a monster. I don't want to chase the points with him, and I know it's not a good matchup, but they've figured something out with him. They don't really have a wide receiver too. And that connection, I think that continues. I'd start Freiermuth over a lot of tight ends. And then the last game, Washington. It's going to be brutal for Washington. Oh my gosh. Kansas City are going to smoke them. No Jaden Daniels. I don't think that McLaurin's playing. It's a 47-point over-under, which is high, and Kansas City minus 12.5. I think Kansas City covers that 12.5, but it goes under. I don't see Washington scoring many points in this game with Mariota at all. The thing I want to say about Kansas City before I get into it, I don't know what their ranking is, but they are so good against the run. That team, I noticed it big time when I was watching in the Detroit game, but they're so good against the run and they're so good at controlling the clock. So, I mean, they had the ball for 42 minutes last week against the Raiders. Raiders were barely on the field. They're going to do the same thing again in this game. So, definitely cover, definitely under. Mariota, please don't start him. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt against that run, he's a flex to me at best. I'm trying not to start him. It's a brutal matchup. McNichols is just a cash-only garbage time type of, like, punches in one at the very end. I don't know. That's the best you can get. Debo is going to play, and he's a wide receiver too. You don't want to – Debo's just too relied upon on that offense to bench him. Luke McCaffrey – I got cute with it last week. I started him over Marvin Harrison. I hated Marvin Harrison's matchup. I thought McCaffrey would be a lock for a touchdown. He got 0 points. He had a goose. But he might be a cash play. And then Zach Ertz, you're starting him if he's active. Mahomes, he is so back to that elite. And it's only going to get better, guys. If you bought low on Mahomes and in Dynasty this year, what if he fell in drafts? He's a QB1 right now, and he's so good. Must start. Pacheco almost made my start of the week. This is a good matchup for him, and I think he could have a really nice day on Monday night. Kareem Hunt's hurt. Rashard Smith, the rookie running back, you can stash him if you want to. He's picking up a little bit, but it's not really equivalating to much fantasy production. It's more on the field he's getting involved. Rashee Rice, welcome back. Must start. Gosh, he is so good. The way that they use him, they scheme him. He might be a top 5 wide receiver moving forward, guys. It's just the way that they scheme him. It's so perfect. Xavier Worthy, he's a flex to me, and I'd try to sell him. And then Kelsey, he's a start, but I tried to sell him as well. That is my week preview, guys. Week 8. Good luck to everybody. Any questions? Again, comment, hit me up, hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get at it.